Mace, I'm really sorry.
Legal separation papers for you and Thorne. Unbelievable. I don't understand any of this.
I don't understand it either.
1 minute, the two of you have a perfectly happy marriage. You're even planning to have a child together. And the next minute, you're not even sleeping in the same bed.
It's that girl. It's that illegal alien. She's the source of all the problems.
Well, you got that right. I'm telling you, I wouldn't mind getting my hands on Miss Claudia Cortez. I would teach that imported homewrecker a thing or two.
It's not as simple as that.
What do you mean?
Well, I can't blame all of this on Claudia.
She's the one who's responsible for all of this. Macy, don't you realize that until that woman started playing the damsel in distress routine for your husband, you and Thorne were crazy about each other. Now look at the two of you.
You know, I still can't believe that Thorne fell for her song and dance.
Well, everybody's going to have trouble believing that one, especially Thorne's mother. I am sure that Stephanie Forrester is none too pleased about his behavior. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. There's a thought. Hey. You know, it is possible. It is just possible that Stephanie may be the one person who'll be able to get through to Thorne before it's too late.
So you know about Thorne and Macy's separation?
Yes, I do.
Eric, what's happening? The children's lives are unraveling right in front of us, and now I have both of them living with me at the house.
It's a pretty difficult time for Thorne. It isn't easy to stand up for something that you believe in.
No, but at what price? Is he really prepared to sacrifice his marriage? His relationship with his brother?
But we can't fault him for speaking his mind. And Stephanie, in the end, we may all end up thanking him for it.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Ridge and Taylor. Maybe they needed Thorne to step up and put all the cards on the table, and to consider whether they really do belong together.
He's interfered, and that interference has really complicated the situation.
But he has also made them look deep inside and to come up with a true commitment of love. Isn't that what marriage is all about? Look, if and when Ridge and Taylor do get married, they will exchange vows with absolute certainty, and we will have Thorne to thank for it.
If and when they get married.
Now you're worried about Brooke.
Well, of course I'm concerned about Brooke. She's going to see Ridge today for the first time since he took off with Marina and tried to stop her wedding.
And she knows nothing about that, does she?
No, and she doesn't know that Ridge's wedding was canceled. So naturally, I'm worried. Whenever Brooke is in the situation, there's always room for concern.
Stephanie, she's a married woman now. She's Mrs. Grant Chambers.
Well, she's never respected the sanctity of marriage before. Why would she start now? Who knows how far she'll go at this point to get Ridge back. Would you quit? You're driving me nuts.
I can't help it. I just keep wondering what's going on in that office. Oh, I get it. It's the big test.
What do you mean?
Well, Ridge is a free agent, can do what he wants.
That's the whole point. He should do what he wants.
Do you mean that? I mean, how can you be that cavalier? Both our futures are on the line here.
You think I don't know that?
Ridge went after Brooke before and tried to stop our wedding. Who knows what he'll do this time?
Taylor and I, we never got married.
What?
The wedding never happened, Brooke.
What do you mean it never happened? Why not? Ridge, what are you trying to tell me? What are you saying?
Brooke, there's something you need to know.
What? What do you have to tell me, Ridge?
The day you and Chambers were married, I went down to the marina.
You what?
Thorne and I raced down there in the car, literally racing the sun.
Oh my God, but what happened? Why didn't you make it? I was waiting for you, Ridge. I was hoping and praying that you would come.
The car broke down. I finally flagged a guy down on a motorcycle. I literally bought that bike right there on the spot, and I headed down to the marina.
But you never made it.
No, it was too late. Your boat had headed out right when I got there. I yelled for you, Brooke. I screamed at the top of my lungs.
I never heard you.
No, you didn't. I had to stop your wedding, Brooke. I couldn't let you go through with it. I couldn't let you marry Chambers.
But I did marry him. Only you. You didn't marry Taylor. Ridge, what if you had made it? What if your car didn't break down and you made it there? You made it before we set sail.
I told you. I would have stopped your wedding.
But how? You knew how I felt. You read the letter that I wrote. There was only one way you could have prevented me from marrying Grant. You know what I'm talking about.
By breaking off my engagement with Taylor and marrying you.
Were you prepared to do that? Were you going to ask me to marry you?
Rich has this whole thing planned out.
It isn't Ridge I'm worried about. It's your wife. You know, why the hell did she marry you in the first place if she wasn't in love with you? And I don't want you to take this wrong, Grant. The minute she finds out that Ridge and I are not married, she is going to throw herself at him, or she's going to use the children or whatever she can to get him back. Of course, she did promise to let Ridge and me go on with our lives once the two of you were married. But what is a promise to her except a means to an end?
So you think Ridge is the end?
She wants him. She always has. She always will. The question is, does Ridge want to be with her too?
Well, you know what? All this standing around is driving me crazy. I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna find out what's going on.
Not without me, you're not.
I know Stephanie Forrester pretty well, and I figure she's got to be furious with Thorne.
No doubt. That guy's been out of control lately.
Out of control. He's been in orbit lately. Hiring an illegal alien at Forrester, putting the family business at risk.
Letting that little beauty come between the two of you.
Oh, come on now. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
I know, honey. I know. I'm sorry. You shouldn't have to talk about it. And you shouldn't have to deal with it. But we got to face the fact that Thorne's behavior has put your entire relationship in jeopardy.
Yeah, well, I think he really believes that he's doing some good deed.
He's breaking the law.
Clarke's right. Somebody's got to make him see that.
Well, I've tried, Mother. I've tried. I've fought like hell to try to get him to listen. I've done everything I can to keep this marriage from falling apart.
I know that, honey. Maybe it's time I did a little fighting on my own. Maybe it's time I paid a visit to my old friend Stephanie Forrester. I am sure between the two of us, we can find a way to solve this problem before it gets completely out of hand.
No, Mother, don't. Don't go over there, please.
I'm sorry, Macy. I have got to go. I've got to do something. I am determined to talk to Stephanie Forrester and make sure she realizes how Thorne's destructive behavior is affecting your marriage.
Stephanie, I understand your concerns. I share them, but worrying yourself sick is not going to make anything better. Come here. Now look. Ridge is the only person who can truly know what's in his heart. We just have to have faith and trust that he's going to do the right thing.
Oh, I trust him. It's Brooke I don't trust.
Well, stop that. Now look. Our sons' lives are in turmoil right now, but they're good boys. We raised them well. Everything will turn out fine.
Tell me, how do you do that?
What?
Keep such, I don't know, such a good outlook on life.
Well, if there's one thing I've learned, it's that at the least expected time, somebody comes along and picks you right up. Rights all wrongs, puts a smile right back on your face.
Are you talking from personal experience?
As a matter of fact, I have.
Oh, someone special in your life, maybe?
You, Stephanie, are asking too many questions.
Are things going to work out for us?
They always have. I'm not going to stop believing now.
Me either.
Please, Ridge, answer me. Were you going to ask me to marry you? Were you willing to go that far to stop me from marrying Grant?
What does it matter?
What do you mean, what does it matter? How can you say that?
Brooke, we both know where things stand. You and Grant, you did go through with it. You tied the knot.
But not you and Taylor. You're still a very free man.
And you are very much a married woman. How are Rick and Bridget? Kids get along with Chambers?
As well as can be expected.
What does that mean?
They're adjusting. They miss you, Ridge.
And how are things with you and Grant?
Okay.
I wish it didn't have to be this way.
What are you saying, Ridge? What are you telling me? Do you want to marry me? Do you?
Hello, Stephanie.
Sally.
I'm sure you got a pretty good idea what I'm doing here.
Well, you're worried about Thorne and Macy.
You heard about the legal separation?
Yes, I'm very upset about it.
So, what are we going to do about it?
Well, Sally, they're two grown-up people. I don't think you and I should try and solve their problems.
Yeah, and we shouldn't just sit around and do nothing while their marriage falls apart either.
Look, let's not get into a discussion now, all right? This is not a particularly good time. Let's talk about it later after everyone's had...
Stephanie, come on! Then it'll be too late. This is my daughter I'm talking about.
This is my son we're talking about.
Yeah, well, maybe if your son hadn't been behaving in such a strange fashion lately, none of this would have happened.
Taylor? Chambers?
Were you just telling him about our wedding and our fabulous honeymoon?
As a matter of fact, we were just catching up.
Boy, the kids were so excited to see us.
Is that a fact?
Congratulations, Brooke.
Thank you. I'm sorry to hear about your wedding being canceled.
Postponed.
Well, I'm sure you two will patch things up.
Oh, no, our day is definitely coming.
I gotta tell you, it's the greatest feeling waking up in the morning with the woman you love, kids, the whole family feeling. You know, I was thinking that maybe we should take Rick and Bridget down to Baja and let them play in the tide pools. What do you think about that?
That's it. I have work to do.
Ridge. Ridge, wait.
Stephanie. I just cannot for the life of me figure out what Thorne could possibly be thinking.
Sally, just a moment.
What? I should wait so you can come up with some way to defend his actions?
All I'm going to say is that the entire family is in a state of turmoil and crisis.
And that's supposed to be an excuse for Thorne's behavior?
Well, it takes two people to make a marriage, Sally.
Yeah, I know it does. Now let me tell you something. Only one person has been working on that marriage lately. Thorne even forgot their wedding anniversary, Stephanie.
Well, I don't know what to say, except everyone's had a lot on their minds lately.
Oh, yeah, I know that. I know that. That's probably the reason why my daughter Macy had to suffer the humiliation of attending Ridge and Taylor's wedding, because nobody bothered to contact her and tell her that it had been canceled.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry doesn't cut it with me, Stephanie. I want to know where Thorne was in all of this. I want to know what Thorne was thinking, because he certainly wasn't thinking about his wife or his marriage.
But this separation was Macy's idea.
Because Thorne got himself involved with another woman.
Oh, Sally, please, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. It is ludicrous. It is a laugh riot. How could he do that to her?
Wait just a moment. You're not talking about this Claudia girl. No. Sally, no. Macy's just blowing this whole thing out of proportion.
Thorne deliberately hires an illegal alien over at Forrester, and then he compounds the felony by lying to the immigration authorities in order to protect her. Stephanie, can't you see that he has put your entire business in jeopardy?
Look, he was wrong what he did, but in his heart he thought he did the right thing.
How could he think he was doing the right thing by betraying his wife?
What do you... There's nothing between the two of them. Nothing has happened between them, absolutely. Sally, I think you'd better tell Macy she needs to have a little faith in her husband.
Yeah, well, maybe you ought to talk to Thorne about the fact that he's destroyed her faith in him.
I have absolutely no intention of continuing this discussion. I'm not going to talk about Macy and some cockamamie, unfounded jealousies.
Jealousies? You think I came over here to talk about jealousy, founded or unfounded? I didn't. I'm not here to point the finger at anybody.
It seems to me that you've pointed it directly at Thorne.
Yeah, well, if I am, maybe I got a reason. Because maybe if your son cared as much about his wife as he seems to about this Cortez dame, then maybe he and Macy would still be happily married. As a matter of fact, I'm sure they would.
Are you through?
Yes! I can't believe you, Stephanie. I cannot believe the way you're taking this. Our children are suffering. And you just... Well... Apparently you just don't give a damn.